What is up, everybody? It is True Sage, and yes, it is still pronounced True Sage. This is black anime fans still feel like Outcasts. Now, I decided to react to this video for a couple reasons. One is because I've actually been on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and pretty much everywhere where you can find black cosplayers. And I've been seeing a lot of racist comments towards black cosplay, in particular one specific cosplayer as well. And then two is because it says black anime fans still feel like Outcasts, in which I'm kind of a black anime fan. Oh, this is really more or less of my chance to vent about a whole bunch of different shit that I've been wanting to vent about. So I don't waste my guys' time. Hit the subscribe button. After like that, bring your shit to the video.
You can always tell when a black dude loves anime.
Why do black people love anime so much?
There's nothing like being a black nerd, bro.
The anime community has some of the most.
They want something that's so
people on the
crazy.
internet.
Again, I want to clarify something. This is just a video for me to get shit off my chest. So I'm going to be pausing the video a whole lot. But at the very beginning, go back.
You can always tell when a black dude loves anime.
Not
Why
this
do black
nigga.
people love anime?
He said, why do black people love anime so much? Like, why is that a question about why do black people love anime so much? As if there isn't people of every race and ethnicity, you know what I meant to say, ethnicity that also likes anime just as much as black people.
There's nothing like being a black nerd, bro.
The anime community has some of the most hated people on the internet for a very good reason.
There's a whole argument on Twitter right now about whether this is the worst
Being a black fan of nerd shit is hard, man.
time or best time to be a black
Might be easier to be a black nerd now than it's ever been, honestly.
person and into nerd shit.
As a black kid who grew up in the hood, I need y'all to shut up. I remember not long ago, before anime was mainstream, you get beat up or bullied or outcast for liking it. Let's be serious. Nobody was beating you up for watching no fucking anime.
This back and forth really speaks
Yeah,
to
okay, listen, this has been a
video I made.
this has been a very long back and forth that's been going on for a hot minute. About, and again, this is my time to fucking rant. So if you're gonna be like, oh, you keep on pausing the video, yeah, get used to it, buddy. But this has been a very long discourse that's been going on within the anime community. Is that people will try to tell their stories about, like, hey guys, before anime became mainstream, I used to bully us for liking it, and then the other half would be like, we never bullied you for liking anime, we bullied you for Naruto running down the hallway and being weird and shit, right? And which I do think there's truth to both sides of stories, but in general, as someone who used to get ridiculously bullied growing up in life in general, honestly, yes, there were people who used to just flat out bully you for just liking anime. I am acknowledging the fact that there were people who were, you know, what society would label as quote unquote weird, and people running throughout the hallways and shit like that. Yes, there were people like that getting bullied, and it may not have been anime, it may have been because of that. But in general, I'm not finna sit here and let y'all gaslight a lot of these people, try to make it seem like that they did not get bullied just for liking anime. Okay, that's a real thing that fucking happened. But continue.
While ago about whether the black community accepting black people watching things like anime or not, which actually turned out to be one of my favorite videos I've ever made on this channel, but it got no
That's real, bro. I get it.
Where were y'all at?
You know how many videos I do that I
saw
love
really
that gets no
highlight the
views? I
opposing
get it.
views
I
and
get it.
experiences in this discussion.
Finding good friends as a black nerd is one of the most difficult things I have ever had the displeasure of trying to do. All of my friends are online or at the very minimum an hour away. Another reason that I'm always alone is because when you finally do find friends as a black nerd, your blackness or your nerdiness is always going to be a problem.
You can always tell when a black dude loves anime. They all have that unkept afro. I'm just, how and why? Why? It's okay to go get a haircut, Mr. Anime Man. Yo, Alfred, go get a fade. I promise you that Sasuke is still gonna be Sasuke, bro. I promise you.
And you know what something's crazy though is that, like, people like him were trying to say that shit about black anime fans, in which there are a lot of anime fans who do have their haircut, right? However, though, they try to sit there and act like that there aren't people in every single communities that have stereotypes, and the stereotypes being their looks. Like, I'm putting it to you like this again, because it's my time to fucking rant. One of the things growing up was that as a black anime fan and a fan of all nerdcore shit, people who were quote unquote athletes and other type of shit like that used to try to bully us and try to make it seem like that them indulging in consuming sports media was better and superior in a way than us indulging in engulfing in nerdcore shit. In which, by the way, that's I don't know why people can't think you can't be a nerd and athletic. You know, growing up, I was an athletic. By the time I got to high school, I became an athletic nerd. You know what I'm saying? Most of them niggas said that shit to me back then. Can't beat me in a one-on-one game of basketball nowadays. But anyways, though, but they will call us nerds for watching anime and remembering a lot of these anime facts, but these things can tell you exactly what Michael Porter Jr. did on December 16th, 2021 at exactly 4:62 a.m. These things can name you Kobe stats from the very time he became a rookie in 1996 to the very time he retired, each and every individual year. That's some nerd shit. And those same people, we have the audacity to open their mouth and then call me a nerd because I remember what happened after the Sasuke retrieval arc. That's fucking crazy. But continue.
Easier to be a black nerd now than it's ever been, honestly. And you can see that got a ton of replies. But in the same breath, you see a tweet like this. Being a black fan of nerd shit is hard, man. Which I ended up responding to and sharing this video because it's so relevant to the discussion that's happening right now.
Why do black people love anime so?
I got you, bro. A lot of it starts with the fighting. Black Americans historically have been into fighting films, especially ones that contain karate, Muay Thai, all that good stuff. I think the same thing applies to anime. And not only that, being black in America comes with a lot of adversity. When we watch these characters deal with similar inner struggles that we do, of course we're going to attach to them.
So we're going to give it a rewatch with new
I ain't gonna lie,
eyes.
that's facts. However, though, I'm speaking from my own personal experience. For me, I'm not saying for other people. When I say this right here, I'm only speaking for myself. For me, it's not that deep. I just like anime. I also happen to be black, but you know.
The channel, please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
If you were black and you watched anime growing up, you were bullied, beat up, and rejected by the black community, according to this tweet. And this tweet started a whole debate on X about if people were bullied or not, and when exactly being an anime fan became acceptable in the black community. As a lifelong anime fan who happens
When
to
RDC
be
made it
black,
popular.
I think this conversation highlights how people from the same community with the same interests or passion can be perceived two totally different ways and have different experiences because of that. I don't doubt that some kids were teased for liking these Japanese cartoons that were created for much more mature audiences than what we're used to in the US, while other kids were accepted and even able to influence friends and family in their circle to get into anime. For me growing up, I've always been into art. I've been drawing or painting since I was old enough to hold a pencil or paintbrush.
Hey, that's actually a fire artwork. The first, all of these, by the way, I like the first one a lot.
Fan of all the superhero Saturday morning cartoons that dominated the early 90s. Ninja Turtles, X-Men, Spider-Man, and so on. But my introduction to anime was a complete accident. I was flipping through channels one night and I came across Akira, which was premiering on the Sci-Fi Channel.
A city on the edge of insanity, known only as...
Yeah, I actually forgot just how old Akira is, man. Akira is definitely a certified hood classic.
Imagine...
When I tell you, my little elementary school brain exploded when I discovered anime. I'd never seen anything like it, and I can still remember sitting on the edge of my mom's bed, my eyes wide open, glued to her TV. It was the most incredible, detailed, fluid, vibrant, colorful animation I'd ever seen in my life. I was in complete awe. In hindsight, I was way too young to be watching Akira back then.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
How excited and hyped I was when Kaneda was sliding in his all-red biker fit on his high-tech red motorcycle.
Up, there go that
fire.
signature Akira slide.
Tetsuo, who had been bullied the whole movie, and being in shock when he went on that insane rampage from the hospital to the streets to the stadium. But Akira was part of my childhood. It was my introduction to anime, even before I knew what anime was. And I still love that movie to this day. For those of you who aren't aware, Kanye's whole music video for Stronger was actually based on Akira. From that moment, I was hooked on anime.
I don't think I've ever seen that music video. Or maybe I have. It's been a long time.
Some good, but a lot of them were 90s trash. And there was some absolute gems like Vampire Hunter D, Street Fighter, Fatal Fury the motion picture, Robot Carnival.
I watched that Street Fighter series.
Ghost in the Shell. All this yapping to say that I've been an anime fan for a long, long time. How I draw, shade, paint is all from being a lifetime fan of and influenced by anime. But all of my years watching anime was kind of like a solo thing. None of my close friends ever watched anime or were interested when I tried to put them onto it. But I remember the vibe around and access to anime started to change in the late 90s when Cartoon Network created Toonami, which aired after school and introduced kids to anime like Dragon Ball Z, Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop, Gundam, and the list goes on. I would say that's the time that anime started becoming mainstream. And I remember kids
For
in
me,
class starting
now
to talk
see,
about
again, he's a different age than me. I'm 24. I was born 2001, September the 9th to be exact. So for me, when I began to notice anime becoming mainstream, that was whenever RDC popularized it. I have said this before, or maybe I haven't said it on camera before, but RDC is in my top 5 favorite YouTubers of all time. And the reason why this is they're just a hilarious group. They put a lot of effort into their videos. What they do with anime and gaming skits, it just nothing like it. You know what I'm saying? But what they did, in my opinion, to the way how we perceive anime in the West is deserving of a top 5 spot. Because I'm gonna say around time 2015, 2016 came when they started making their anime skits. You know what I'm saying? Those skits they had the anime powers in real life, right? That was whenever I started to notice a switch up in anime in the West. So yeah, but before then, liking anime in the West was like it was crazy. It was crazy.
DBZ episodes, or what was going on with the Namek saga, or whatever other anime they were watching. And throughout that time, I can't say I ever remember anyone getting beat up, bullied, or rejected from the black community for liking anime. I'm not saying that some form of jokes or what people perceived as being bullied didn't happen. We all know that kids are mean and will pick on other kids for just about anything. I just don't remember anything violent happen for somebody liking anime. But this discussion took a hard left when ex-user Mikey responded, "As a black kid who grew up in the hood, I need y'all to shut up. I remember not long ago, before anime was mainstream, you get beat up or bullied or outcast for liking it. Back when anime wasn't cool, it was violently rejected in our community, but now we're claiming it. How can you say an entire industry owes its success to us when just a few years ago, y'all didn't want anything to do with it? The people in your own race will reject you if you were caught being a fan. Y'all are frauds." Can't respond to everyone, but if you understand where I speak from, I appreciate you keeping it real. We got no business saying anime is carried by black aesthetics or we have a massive influence in it. Just because 1 out of every 100 anime they make has hip hop or jazz in it. Based on his tweets, he seems really insulted by her initial tweet and made it about this personal experience of not being accepted in the black community by using language like, "You will be beat up, bullied, or outcasted by liking anime, and it was violently rejected by the black community." Mikey is making it sound like your life was on the line if you liked anime.
Yeah, now I would tell you, growing up, I never got like beat up directly because I like the anime. Growing up in middle school, I did have physical encounters with other people where they was bullying me, but it wasn't because like, hey, that nigga just watched the recent episode of Naruto, let's go get him. It was more or less of, I like the anime, I like the video games, so that made me a target, right? So after I became the target, they just kind of found that, they kind of found me easy pickings. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm not saying that didn't happen to people. It probably did. But from my own personal eyes, I didn't see anyone get like violently beat the fuck up specifically because of you watch anime. I'm almost more certain it probably happened, but for me, I didn't see it. But continue though.
Especially by saying anime was violently rejected by the black community. I don't think it was ever that serious that anyone cared that much to violently reject anime. But I can only speak from my own experience. Unfortunately, I can't say that type of bullying or teasing didn't happen to other people. At the end of the day, black people aren't a monolith and everyone has their own experiences. And I could see if someone was to say that the majority of black community didn't care or ignored anime, but violently rejected is a stretch. Also, Mikey saying that anime wasn't made mainstream until recently, I think is 100% inaccurate. Toonami made anime mainstream 20 plus years ago. Maybe it got more popular with shows like Naruto and Attack on Titan, but anime has been mainstream since DBZ days.
Again, see, this is the part where like different generations kind of have a different answer for this question, because I'm pretty sure for him and people he grown up with, yeah. But again, for me, growing up, right? Once you got to middle school, see, elementary school liking anime was cool, right? Because kids was super innocent then. Middle school was when the innocence started to kind of slip away. It's a picture of like Captain America, and there's like this man's wanted for murder, and it's Captain America walking past that poster with like his hood down and like glasses on. That was what it was like an anime back in middle school. And then in high school around 2015, RDC started making their skits. That's whenever anime became mainstream to like for my age range, right? And how I know it's because of RDC was because a lot of the niggas that used to either do the bullying or hang around the other niggas doing the bullying was coming up to me. I swear on my life, coming up to me. Because after a while, when anime became popular to liking shit. They was coming up to me. We became cool. They was coming up to me, showing me funny videos about RDC and anime. I'm like, okay, that's kind of crazy. But continue.
Tweets stirred up a lot of controversy about the black community accepting anime and kids being bullied or not for liking anime. Watching anime and being weird anime running down the hallway.
And I've already spoke about that earlier in the video.
That has some
earlier,
truth to it. I vaguely remember kids jumping off lockers and doing kamehamehas in the hallway. But I don't think that's any different than kids randomly stone cold stunning kids in the hallway. The main difference is the popularity of WWF during the Attitude Era as opposed to anime, which was always more of a niche thing. And people not really understanding what anime kids were doing at the time. But
and then can I also take it another step further? That I don't really hear this conversation being held a lot. Even if there were kids running down the hallway Naruto style, even if there was kids doing Razingans and Shidoris and Kamehamehas and whatever the fuck, why do you think that gives you permission to just harass them because of that? If they're not bothering you, then, because I hate how their justification for bullying people, giving some people trauma is, oh, well, you were acting weird in front of me. That doesn't, like, a nigga can be sitting there biting his hand, thinking he's about to turn to a titan. That does not give me permission to just project my anger and hatred towards that nigga because he's acting weird. Just because these niggas are behaving quote unquote weird, that does not give you permission to just harass them, bro. Imagine if you just run around and harassed everyone if they did something that we personally didn't like or found weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I hear this discourse of, oh, well, we didn't bully you because you like the anime. We bullied you because we caught you trying to do the Kamehameha. So fucking what, bro? Like, let that nigga do a Kamehameha in peace. That shit has nothing to do with you, Cole.
As well. Thank you. Anybody saying they were bullied definitely smelled like pee growing up. That was part of the fun of being into manga and anime back then. Back then, you weren't just a casual watcher. It was harder to find ways to watch, so when you did, you immersed yourself more into it. Internet was still young. Not every show had a translation. Forums were key. You can be into something without being a whole weirdo. If you just bust out of nowhere guarding people in the guard stance like a basketball defender, there's no amount of NBA popularity that's going to protect you from.
But niggas did that shit though. But niggas was doing that shit though. Do you know how many times in middle school and high school niggas will walk down a corridor and feel the fucking need to jump up and slap it as hard as they can? Like the fucking LeBron going down the fucking lane in 2013? You know how many times you see a nigga have a paper ball in his hand and he will shoot that bitch and yell Kobe? Is that not the same thing? It's objectively wrong, my nigga. That's actually just a wrong. Continue though.
Strange. What's wrong with y'all? Another person named Dean responded to Mikey's initial tweet, actually quoting himself as he already responded to this same conversation back in 2022. Here we go again. Niggas didn't get bullied for simply liking anime. Tell the whole story about how you tried to turn Super Saiyan in gym class in front of the hoes. A lot of people had thoughts about this tweet, agreeing or disagreeing based on their own experiences. No, it's not. You saying all of us did that shows why we were bullied. Facts. Lame ass nigga living your truth. Yeah, they didn't get bullied for liking anime. They got bullied for being autistic.
And then on top of that too, look at what the nigga just said. You got bullied for being autistic. Do you know how many actual autistic kids there are? Black or not black, but actual autistic kids that are into anime. Of course, if you're autistic, your social awareness is going to be different than a person who isn't autistic, right? And you're bullying an autistic person because they are socially different than you. Do you hear yourself right now? It is not giving you permission to bully someone, dog. Like, come on now, gang. And again, I spoke about this earlier in the video about people saying you didn't get bullied for, like, you got bullied for being weird. Maybe there were. I'm actively telling you, there were a lot of niggas that actively were doing shit, right? That would be considered socially weird. Yes. But to sit there and to try to say that every single last person who's an anime fan who got bullied, every single last one of them smelled like pee, was running down the hallway, tried to turn Super Saiyan in front of the hoes, is objectively wrong. And I would never hear the argument that it isn't, bro. Yes, there were anime fans out there who were doing that, yes. But to sit there and try to just completely gaslight the entire experience of being or feeling like an outcast because like the anime, try to gaslight that shit with, oh, that's because you was doing this. That's wrong, bro.
For like an anime then. Not gonna lie, even if they were being dicks to be dicks, that's how kids are. But beat up, let's be serious, nobody was beating you up for watching no fucking anime. I was lightly teased when I bring a manga to school because people thought it was, but I literally showed up in cosplay at times, but no one did or said a thing. Here y'all go again with this blatant lie. Yeah, but niggas definitely did get bullied for liking anime. I was never once bullied for liking anime because I did it from the privacy of my own home. A fucking lie. The culture back then was not receptive of it in general. It didn't matter if you behaved like that or not. I hate how y'all try to revise history because y'all like something now. This is where I think this type of conversation just becomes really nuanced because it's based on everybody's personal experience. Was
Pretty
the black
much.
community receptive to anime as a whole early on? I don't think so. I think anime was more so ignored or seen as a fringe thing to be into, but never violently rejected. I drew anime all over my notebooks.
Yeah,
in school.
again, I wouldn't say it was violently rejected, but there probably was someone that got their ass kicked for like an anime.
DBZ. That's just my personal experience though. And I think half the problem in disconnect is everybody projecting their personal experiences onto everybody else and just generalizing it. If a kid decided to go Super Saiyan in the middle of gym class when everybody else was playing basketball and they got clowned on it, then yeah, their personal experience would be them getting bullied for liking anime. But that's not everybody that liked anime. And to reiterate, bullying is whack. Dean then responded with another tweet which I think is accurate. Niggas were watching DBZ and Yu-Gi-Oh before we even knew what anime was. Which again, I think speaks to the normalization or acceptance of anime much earlier than what Mikey said. And that kind of goes to what I said earlier, that I was hooked on anime before I even knew what it was either. I just thought what I was watching was dope and I wanted to see more of it. And I think that goes for most kids. Low-key, not everybody got bullied for liking anime. I think some of them kids just wanted to bully y'all. Yeah,
well, I mean that too.
That's probably the case. If you got bullied or felt tried, I hope you stood up for yourself. I feel like that goes without saying. I just feel like I live in a different world when people act like if you mention anime in any capacity, you were shunned off top no matter what. I definitely agree with that. Again, not trying to knock down or deny anybody their personal experiences, but I just didn't see that growing up. And some of the responses under that tweet, this is literally it. People will find any way to clown you in school. Facts, like anything. Most of the time, it don't be about the actual shit really at all. It's because of them. They acting like Timmy over there wasn't getting clowned for having a pink notebook. Shit was so unserious.
Now again, yes, back then in school, niggas was wanting to bully you just because they was bored. Yes. One time in the 7th grade, niggas was making fun of me because I had on white Nike socks. And I remember I vividly told my mom the next day, hey, can you give me some black Nike socks? They was making fun of my socks. She was some black Nike socks. And it was laughing at my black Nike socks. And then the next day after that, I wore regular socks. And these niggas was still, I was like, bro, can a nigga not have socks on, gang? You feel me? So yes, niggas were bullying you for anything.
Extremes as adult is a problem with most things in life, honestly. I also agree with that last tweet. I think this is just everybody generalizing their personal experience that they had growing up. And there were some other tweets about this too. There's a line being blurred here. Kids in general experience bullying, but there's a select group of people who found the reasoning for that bullying to be anime. I do agree with that. Also, if you saying shit like, as a black kid that grew up in the hood, you did not. Nobody talks like that. I wasn't bullied because niggas would just have to fade it out. Not everybody fought back or stood up for themselves. So again, I'm not going to deny the people that were bullied for something. Again, everybody has their own personal experiences, and that's going to dictate how they feel they were dealt with for being an early adopter or fan of anime when it wasn't that popular. It does suck that anybody ever felt bullied or isolated because they liked anime though, because anime provides such an awesome experience, and that's why so many people are into it. I told you how mind-blowing Akira was to me, but I had that same feeling across several anime through the years, like when All Might turned up and fought against Nomu, or when Eren burst out of the basement in Titan form and started the attack on Marley, or just about any sword art from Demon Slayer. Responses to this whole conversation seemed about 50-50, where people were saying bullying was happening or not happening for being an anime fan, and also if the black community accepted anime or not. But I'm glad we're finally at a point where anime is just accepted and loved across the board, and there are black channels like CJ the Cham, Honcho, and Sensei that do great numbers talking about anime crash outs, reverse jump-ins, and black.
I want to clarify something. That does not mean that shit still does not happen today. I'm going to give you a perfect example, right? Because again, for the people talking about we didn't dislike or make you feel like an outcast because you like the anime, we did it because you did X, Y, and Z. Let me tell you why that's again false. So this happened if I was 20. I was grown, but I wasn't grown as hell. Okay, but I was definitely out of high school, significantly out of high school at this point, right? And my homeboy had it was his birthday, so he had like this little birthday hotel party, and we're in there, right? And we're drinking, we're drunk, okay? So it's this chick inside this birthday hotel, and she looks at me. I don't even know what the fuck I even said, bro, but I'm just chilling, we're just talking, and she looks at me and she goes, "Sage." Well, she didn't call me Sage, call me my real name, but she was just like, "I seriously don't see how girls find you attractive or like you because you're just so fucking nerdy." And when she said that, everybody in the hotel looked at me like, you know how somebody say some shit to you and everybody look at you to be like, "Yo, you gonna take that?" And everybody's like, damn, why'd you said that to him, whatnot? And she was like, "I'm just saying, bro." Now, again, middle school kids will be mean, but they're kids. In high school, niggas are gonna be mean, but they're high school. Nigga, we're 20. We're 20, 21 in this fucking hotel room. I wasn't doing no kamehamehas. I wasn't turning Super Saiyan in front of nobody. I'm just drinking, chilling, vibing. And Shawty had the audacity to disrespect me like this because she claimed that she has no idea how women find me attractive because I'm just so fucking nerdy. So this is proof. And again, like how you said earlier, this is all just about people's personal experience being blasted on other people and generalized. Okay, I'm acknowledging that yes, there are people out there that was doing Rasengan and shit like that was getting bullied, but I'm not about to sit here and say that that was the entirety of it. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is that yes, niggas dead ass used to get shit because they like the anime. Yes, niggas want to talk about you for anything. Yes, niggas do want to bully you for anything. But sometimes that anything could be classified as anime, and that was fucking true.
And everything else. Those are actually some of my favorite channels and content to watch while I'm editing. But now I really want to know your experience. When did you start watching anime? How did you get into it? And did you ever receive any backlash, or were you teased for watching anime growing up?
Hell yeah. Shout out to Drew Almighty, man. That was a fantastic video. Listen, I don't really like to talk about issues within the anime community and the black anime community because honestly, a lot of these talking points just really get me frustrated and upset. Like, I hate to have a conversation about why did you get bullied for like anime. That's just a conversation that really makes me uncomfortable. I don't really want to talk about it. But in this case, I wanted to kind of just talk a little bit about it. But yeah, no, I completely stand for people used to get bullied just for liking anime. You can feel free in the comment section to tell me about your personal experience, or you can also feel free in the comment section to tell me that I didn't get bullied for liking anime. It's just up to you. But I think it also plays a heavy role in your environment because I grew up in a small town called Shreveport, and it's in Louisiana, right? Shreveport, Louisiana is nicknamed Ratchet City because of how ratchet everybody was. I'm pretty sure you can add 2 + 2 together. Living in Ratchet City and being non-ratchet anime fan, you can probably imagine how that was perceived, especially in middle school. And I think it also plays a heavy role in your environment where you grew up at. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this subject. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. Just help me, but it helps you too. Why? So you see content similar to this one. You guys did subscribe me, I appreciate it a lot. If you guys didn't, I guess you'll part ways. Either way, God Almighty, keep it easy, and I'm gone. Peace.
That's all it is, man. Leap of faith.